Paddy the Baddy. What do you guys think? I'll tell you what I thought. I thought he was going to lose this fight. That's what I thought. I thought Jordan Levitt is a little bit harder opponent than Paddy's ready for. Fighting at home is not an advantage, guys. It's a disadvantage. Every other sport in the world, if you have home field, home court advantage, it helps you. Except in this one. If you've been telling all your peers and all your coworkers and all your classmates how tough you are, and now you got to walk out there half naked in short pants with a mouthpiece, and you got to prove it, it's a hard thing to do. Not to mention the phone calls and the asking, hey, can you get me tickets? I mean, not for nothing. It's a very hard thing to fight at home. And I only bring that to you because I don't believe that that's the best Paddy there is. That Paddy that we saw over the weekend could be a world champion. The one thing that Paddy did better in this fight than he has in any other is he showed his ability to push the pace. The greats all can push the pace. It's a hard thing to see as the audience. The fellow competitors know it, though, and they recognize it. Because if you're going to beat a guy, you either got to be better than him or you got to be tougher than him. And if you watch a guy and you know, I am not better than him. He has more skills, but I'm tougher. What you're saying is not that when you take the punch versus he take the, which one of you says, ow, ladder. You're talking about who can go harder longer. That's what tough is in the sport. If you ever hear a commentator talk about this guy is tough, it has nothing to do with his ability to absorb damage. They're talking about his ability to go as hard in the 14th minute as he did in the 4th minute. And Paddy was getting overwhelmed to sorts. He was getting pressured. He was getting pushed against the fence. He was the one that got taken down. He was getting overwhelmed to sorts. Jordan Levitt was doing everything the way Jordan wanted it to go. But Paddy was relentless and he would not stop. And whether it was getting him off the bottom, getting over the cage, getting a little elevation, or even finding guillotines and adjusting his hips and his legs and getting it over and threatening chokes, Paddy was nonstop, aggressive and on the attack. I just haven't seen that before. I just flat out haven't seen that. I've heard some people that love Paddy talking about how great he is on the ground, and I've had other people that love Paddy talking about how good his strikes are. I haven't seen it. I have now. There was something very special that happened there. You saw the O2 Arena. It was very clear who that audience came to see. Paddy the Baddy, without this performance, going to be a big deal. He's going to matter. He's going to move the needle. He already showed that. This is his second time in England. This is his second sellout. Even though he didn't get the credit. Whoever's on top of the bill and then wins the main event gets the credit. You can see the problem with that type of data research. That's still what it is. Whoever gets the loudest reception, we call it a pop. Whoever makes the crowd pop the loudest, that's the star of the night. It doesn't matter where his placement was. That was Paddy. And I've seen a lot of young guys, and I could name them. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to embarrass them, but a lot of young guys. And they end up in Paddy's spot where they weren't quite mature enough to handle it. They were just too young. And that little bit of spotlight, and that little extra money in your pocket, and that little extra status and notoriety creates for distractions. It keeps you in the gym a little bit less. I've just seen this, guys, and so have you. I've seen the opposite with Paddy. And I don't know that we have a big enough pool to research, but even in the short term, Paddy's doing everything right. And Paddy was a little bit frustrated earlier in that fight. And Paddy was getting pushed and backed up a little bit more than he wanted. And Paddy's ability to show that he's got better punches and kicks was being negated because Jordan was crowding him. Jordan really did a very good job. You do have to understand, Jordan Levitt did a very good job. He's a very good athlete, and he still got beat. If you don't understand and you don't acknowledge what a good job Jordan did, you're missing what Paddy did, but it was the post-fight interview. As opposed to Paddy being a big deal, being able to make some money, being helpful for the division, selling some tickets over that home in England. What he did in the post-fight makes him a star. That's the kind of stuff that separates you from the pack. That was real. That was authentic. He also revealed to the audience on accident. It wasn't his intent, but he revealed to us what he was going through, what he was carrying with him through all of this stuff, what he was trying to push to the side to focus in on the moment, which he did very well. He was real and he was authentic. And this is when these guys, these showmen, are at their absolute best. When they drop that and let you in. Conor McGregor does not do it very often, but when he does, there's something special there, and that's what Paddy did. I caught a post-fight with Paddy. Paddy went and shared the desk with Molly. Now, Molly was not a good partner for Paddy. She was a ball hog. She spoke up nonstop. She needed to zip it just a little bit, but this is Paddy's call, and he let her do it. He knew that she was drunk with excitement. He knew, I'm going to have a lot more of these opportunities. She may not. It was just one of these things where you saw this different side of Paddy, and it wasn't this cocky, arrogant, brash. It was none of those things. It was a young man with a dream who worked really hard to go out there and have his goal come through. It was just a different side. It softened him tremendously. Paddy even talked about some vulnerabilities. Paddy's doing the weigh-in, and he yells. He's not even mic'd up, and he yells to all you people that tried to fat shame me. You know, he mooms them and slaps his ass. But he still found a way to do two things. He found a way to be entertaining, found a way to stay in character, which is to give the middle finger to the audience, but he also represents, I hear these things. I'm a human being. Why are you going to fat shame me? I got to lose a whole bunch of weight at times, and other times I get to reward myself. There was just a lot that happened, but I think you guys feel it. And whether you've identified within yourself that that's what you felt, that is what you felt. You came out of that fight with a very different idea of Paddy. There was a time where Paddy was picked up in the air, and now he starts looking for a triangle. I mean, Jordan picks a guy up in the air like anybody. You pick a guy up in the air, gravity does it from there, right? Guy's off the ground, put his ass down. Paddy starts looking for a triangle. Paddy was annoying. He was bothering Jordan at all times. There was no point in that fight where Jordan was comfortable. Many people, including the announcers that called this fight, believe that Jordan won the first round. I don't think that's true. Now, that data's out there. We could go and look it up. I haven't. But I don't think that's accurate. I think if we did go look at those cards, I bet on all three judges that Paddy had won that fight. Now, he lost the first part of it, which means he could deal with adversity. And a lot of these young guys that get a spotlight shined on them, the one thing that they can't deal with is adversity. And even if it was 2 or 3 minutes, it still happened, and he still did it, and we still saw how we responded. I couldn't be more excited. I really couldn't on what I saw from Paddy. I have not seen anything from Paddy, particularly over the weekend, that would lead me to a conclusion that he cannot become world champion. I'm not stating that right now he's the best in the world. I'm stating for you everything that I saw, all the bit of promise that was there, all of the potential was there. There was nothing within that contest that would disqualify him within a reasonable analyst's mind that he can't be the champion of the world. So if you're Team Baddy, if you're fired up, if you're excited, look, a lot of guys are coming after him. Mark Madsen is coming after him, the Olympian. But a lot of guys are coming after him. It's a very similar thing as precisely what Sugar Sean had to go through. Guys trying to say he's carried, he's not fighting the hardest guys. He's trying. He's a big deal. He's a big draw. You guys want him. Best guy step forward. But for a period of time, Sean was having a hard time getting those matches. I don't want that to happen to Paddy. I don't want it to happen to Paddy because accidents happen when you do that. If you thought Jordan Levitt was a gimme, you're wrong. You're wrong. And if you try to do that with somebody, you're better to throw him in there with Madsen. You're better to throw him in there with some of these hammers that are after him. You're better to test him right now. Let's see where it goes with Paddy, but I would like a dialogue with you guys. I would like some comments here. Am I wrong? Did I have rose-colored glasses on? Did I appreciate his post-fight speech so much that I'm reworking the contest? If I saw it wrong, tell me. If you didn't see the same adversity I saw, tell me. If you didn't see Levitt pushing the pace and backing him up and frustrating Paddy and taking his punches and kicks away, tell me. Paddy won this fight, and I'm not sold on the idea that he did it with his best tools. There is nothing I saw from Paddy Pimblett that makes me believe anything other than someday he could be the world champion.